everybody, welcome to Speak with Votomi. Thank you so much for joining me. If it's your first time here, you're absolutely welcome. Once again, this is a place and platform where we chat all things life. So one of the things I've actually enjoyed doing, especially now more recently, is catching up on Netflix. And sometimes I do admit I did do it while school was still going on. I think there's a level of more enjoyment that, I have when watching series during a time where I'm actually supposed to be doing something else. If you know, you know. If you don't get it, forget about it. But yeah, Maid is one of those series that I actually watched, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think that the media really needs to show us more of those things because it's something that people continue to go through. And today being the last day of the 16 days of activism against women and children abuse, I think it's very important for these conversations to be had and to be held, because a lot of the times we have power against abuse, but we don't exactly use it. But also we don't understand that there are certain and different levels to the degree in which somebody can experience abuse. And we also don't understand that why would certain people make certain choices when they are in situations that they are abused. So definitely this series highlighted a lot of that, and I think it was very helpful. Obviously it won't be every single person's experience, but I think it starts the conversations at the very least. So I definitely recommend. For me personally, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think the 2, just because I felt at some point in time the storyline is dragging a bit. I feel some things could have just been left out and some silent moments as well. But nonetheless, I think it was great. Don't expect like a whole Marvel movie or whatever. And also it's more about the storyline than it is about the money and the financial aspect that is added to the movie, to the series rather. So that should be focused on as compared to the other things. And one of the first things I actually learned from this movie, this is actually from the first episode, was the fact that emotional abuse is still abuse. One of the scenes, the main character, Alex, she is now reporting her case, and she acknowledges that she wants to not be with this gent anymore because he's abusive. And she goes to the social worker and basically says to the social worker, like, I need you to help me find a job and stuff like that, but I don't feel I need a home, because a home is like for people that have been actually abused, people that have faced real abuse. And the lady then goes to say to her that what you're going through is still abuse. Just because you're not being physically abused doesn't mean that it's not. So that was an eye-opening moment for me to say emotional abuse is still abuse. Another lesson, that would be lesson number 2 that I learned from this series, is that you can't want more for somebody than they want for themselves. As difficult as this might be, but it is the truth. There are people that we'll meet in our lives and we'll want better for them. And this, in this instance and context, I'm speaking about her abusive partner that she's with. And she wants him to be a great father. She wants him to be the man that he's able and capable of being. But truth is, she can't want that for him more than he wants that for himself. Like, you wanting something like that for somebody else is not enough. They need to want it for themselves, because that's the only time they're then going to act on it. And the third lesson is the fact that you are worthy of the good things that are coming your way. And in one of the scenes, Alex, who is the main character in the series, she gets an opportunity to have a whole different life, to meet a man who absolutely adores her, who cares for her, who is taking care of her. And she finds herself in a situation where she actually self-sabotages because she feels, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm too broken. And she even ends up going back to the lifestyle of abuse that she previously has known, because she feels that she is not worthy of this new man who, is ready to give her a completely different life, as compared to what she's used to. And how many times do we find ourselves, it might not be in an abusive situation, but we find ourselves self-sabotaging because we feel that we're not deserving of certain things. So or sometimes we even fear the rejection, that we reject ourselves, and self-sabotage in that manner. So yeah, that was another beautiful lesson to learn. I've said this before and I'm going to repeat it again, because I don't believe that you can say say it enough times, but your pain is valid, even if somebody else is going through worse. And this is depicted so beautifully because, as I mentioned, the main character in this whole story is Alex. And she goes on and she's a maid for high class individuals. And one of those whose name is Regina. And Regina is a lady who has money, who has, the top lifestyle, whatever. And we also come to find that she also has problems in her life. And what I absolutely loved about this is the fact that Alex's problems and Regina's problems were never put head to head, to say she has worse problems and Regina's problems are minuscule because she's got money and all of that stuff. It was just a matter of both of these women could learn from each other and also could help each other in terms of what they were going through. And just a reminder once again that your pain is valid. Everything you go through is valid regardless of somebody going through better or worse. Number 5, it is not your duty to heal your partner. You are not Bob the Builder. You cannot fix them. Once again, this goes back to just point number 2, where you can't want more for them. They need to want to be better people. They need to want to become better. And I think a lot of women actually believe that they can go out there and fix a man and change him and pray him into this person and individual that they want him to be. It's not going to happen, okay? And from the Christian point of view, I think that's why even we're encouraged to not get married to non-believers. Not to say that they might necessarily be bad people, but then a lot of women especially believe that by doing so they're going to be changing this individual, and it's not about that. Like, that person needs to want to be better. They need to get onto a journey and step into a journey where they are going to make decisions to better their lives and become the people that they are actually intended to become. Once again, Bob the Builder, you are not him. You cannot fix them. And it was proven even with Alex. She could not fix her partner. She was not capable of fixing her partner. And no matter how many times she tried, until he wanted it for himself and he was doing it for himself, that was the only time that he was able to change. But till then, you aren't able to fix him, and you are not even called to fix your partner. That's God's job. Don't be taking on God's work. It's a very, very difficult task, so let's not be about that. And this doesn't just have to apply for a romantic setting. It can apply for anywhere else, because sometimes we believe that we can change people, and we're not called to do that. That's God's job, and even then, that's if he chooses to do that. And even then, that's if that individual allows God to change them. But we are not called to be fixing our partners. You are not Bob the Builder. You can't fix them. 6, never ever give up. I know it sounds like a simple lesson, and we've heard it probably multiple times, but it is true. And it's one of those things that Alex continues to work. She takes on multiple jobs to ensure that her and her daughter are able to live the life that they need to live. She even applies to school and just takes steps into improving her life and getting the life that she wants. And it's a constant reminder that no matter what you want, the dreams that you have for yourself, in attaining them, make sure that you never give up. And number 7, I think it can actually be linked to number 6, and it's one of those famous scriptures in the Bible that actually says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. Alex made sure that she cleans houses, and she does it, the best way possible. Everybody literally, at some point is wanting her to come and clean their houses just because of what a stunning job that she does. And obviously that's not the place that she wanted to be in her life. That's not what she felt she wanted to do for herself for the rest of her life. But that's all she had at that moment. And whatever her hands found to do, she did it literally with all her might, with all her strength. And she made sure that she was the best at it. And ultimately, that was one of the things that opened doors for her, and for her to find her a better future for herself and her daughter. Lesson number 8, the right relationship won't need you to give up your dreams. In fact, the right relationship will cause you to pursue your dreams, to keep chasing after them, to just continue to be the best person that you could possibly be. And this we saw in Alex's life, especially at the time when she was with Nate, because he always encouraged her and asked her what is it that she wants to do for herself, and continue to encourage her to not forget about her dreams, as compared to Sean, who was even suppressing her for the longest time. She wanted to go to school all these years, but because she was with him, she was unable to do that. And he was, as I mentioned, he was abusive, emotionally, most especially, and that caused her to not chase after her dreams, even to a point where she comes back and she announces that she finally got into into a school that she wanted to get into, and unfortunately Sean has a completely negative reaction to all of that. I don't know if it stemmed from jealousy or the fact that she was doing better, but literally he was not happy for her, and he showed this even in a public setting. So it's just a reminder to you to say that the right relationship and the right partner won't make you choose between them and your dreams. In fact, they'll probably even push you and draw you towards them. They'll push you not even in the direction of your dreams only, but they'll make sure that they push you into the direction of what your purpose is and what God is intending to do with your life. Lesson number 9, another one that I've mentioned before: be kind. You really don't know what people are going through. And when Alex was going through all of the different phases of her life, just going through the most, there were literally people along the way, whether it was just them doing their job or them having woken up on the wrong side of bed. They were honestly just plain blank horrible. And one of the examples that I can give, especially in the South African context, and sorry, I'm not meaning to shame any of these people that take up any of these occupations. However, most of the times when you go to the shop and you meet a cashier and you're just going about your day trying not to fall apart, and you'll get somebody that is rude to you. It's just some of those things that make life more difficult. So just be kind, because you literally don't know what people are going through, and why inflict the very same pain that you're feeling onto the next person. It just really doesn't make sense. All you need to do is be kind. And lesson number 10, your best days are ahead of you. Your best days are really ahead of you. What I love about this film is that it doesn't end in a cliched way, happily ever after type of moment. No, I think because you're going to get to a place where you're going to have to define what that happily ever after looks like for you. But what I loved is that Alex continued to believe that, her best days are ahead of her. And I believe that over your life as well, to say your best days are ahead of you. You've not had your best day. One of the exercises that the ladies at the women's shelter were having, and they were talking about the best day of their life, and they had the option of speaking about a day that is to come that they imagine in their future, or a day that has already passed. And most of them chose to speak about a day in the future. It not only gave them hope, but it gave them something to strive towards and something to wake up in the morning and want to become every single day. So just a reminder to you as well that your best days are ahead of you. And if you're new to my channel, then you probably do not know that I don't count well. I always end off with a bonus. So here it goes. You owe it to yourself to do it for you and to become the best person that you can possibly be. And I think this is even a reminder to myself, because I am such a people pleaser. I always want to make other people happy, but I think do it for yourself, even so that even when other people don't clap for you, when you don't get the reaction that you thought you would get, do it for yourself. Keep motivated and continue to remind yourself why it is that you are doing it, because you owe it to yourself to become the best that you can be. You owe it to yourself to get onto that journey and start healing from the abuse, the trauma, everything else that you've experienced. You owe it to yourself. Don't do it for the next person, because they might not even appreciate that. They not made, you getting onto your journey and becoming a better person and healing. It might not even kickstart off the next person's journey. They might not even appreciate that, but do it for you and continue to believe that you have been created for greatness, and therefore you owe it to yourself to be the best person that you could possibly be. And don't do it for your parents, as I mentioned before. Don't do it to please other people, because what if they're not pleased at the end of the day? Do it for you. Continue to be motivated. Look at your life and just tell yourself that I don't owe it to that person, I owe it to myself to be all that God has created me to be. So those are the 10 lessons that I have learned from the Netflix series Maid. If you do check it out, let's keep the conversation going in the comment section, and also don't forget to share this video with somebody in your world, and let's continue to take better care of our mental health. We are in the festive season, and it doesn't mean that our mental health will just hop on to the festive season commotion as well. Sometimes it's actually goes a little bit south, but may you continue to take care of yourself and do at least one thing every single day that makes you smile and makes you happy. From me to you, lots of love till the next video. Have a blessed Friday. Mwah.